Okay, so here comes some real fun, right? So let's talk about how do we factor these guys, these ax squareds plus bx plus c's. Okay, so how can you factor ax squared plus bx plus c by grouping? Okay, so let's ignore this word grouping for a second. Let's just talk about a whole bunch of different things. First of all, I see this. It has an a value, right? So because it has an a value, I'm looking for a GCF. Now, use the smallest number, right? 4. So the factors of 4 are either 1 and 4 or 2 and 2, right? So the question is, so 1 doesn't count. Does 4 go into all 4 numbers? Well, 4 does not go into 6 evenly, so no. Does 2? Well, 2 goes into 6, but does 2 go into 11? No, right? So you can't use any numbers, right? So our number is a 1. Now we look at the x's. Do all terms have an x? And the answer is no, right? This has no x. So you can't. So your GCF is 1, which means squadoosh, nothing. No GCF can be factored out. So now we need to look at this. Now, you can, if you know your multiplication facts, you can play the guessing game. Watch this guessing game, all right? You could say, okay, here are my 2 parentheses, all right? So I need to find, right, numbers that multiply to 6, numbers that multiply to 4, and I need them to then combine to get 11 somehow. And you could say, okay, well, you know, if I take 3 and 2, right? So assume that it's not 1 and 6. Assume it's 2 and 3, right? So if I multiply, so if it was 2 and 2, if I put a 2 here and a 2 here, that's going to give me, I shouldn't do it underneath. Hold on. I should do it above. Again, this is for my people who are good with their mental math, okay? Again, when I learned, this is how I learned. So 2 and 2 is 4, 2 and 3 is 6. Everything's positive, so I'm going to add them. So 4 and 6 is 10. Well, that's not right. So it's not going to be those two, right? So then I go back to the drawing board and say, okay, it's not 2 and 2. What if it's 1 and 4, right? Well, let's put the 1 there and the 4 there, right? So let me actually erase so I can put them in the spots. And again, this is probably not how I'll do it the rest of the way, but this is just showing some people. So 2 times 4 is 8. 1 times 3 is 3. 8 and 3 is 11. So boom, I'm done. That's my answer, right? But it takes trial and error. It takes mental math skills. It takes not being right the first time every time. Okay? But that's the answer. Okay. So then let's do the X method way, right? So here's the X method way. Do it in blue. So here's my X. So again, we're going to multiply A times C. 6 times 4 is positive 24. We're still going to put positive 11 down there. And now I'm looking for the factors of positive 24 that have a sum equal to positive 11. And again, we did this, right? 1 times 24 is 24. They have to be positive because it's the same sign and we know a positive sum. So positive and positive. Positive 1 plus positive 24 is positive 25. Not right. Then we do 2 and 12. Again, positive and positive. 2 times 12 is 24. Positive 2 plus positive 12 is positive 14. That's not what we want. So then we do 3 times 8 because 3 times 8 is 24. Positive, positive. Positive 3 plus positive 8 is positive 11, and that's what I want, right? So I know it's positive 3 and positive 8. So positive 3 and positive 8. But now, before I put them in my parentheses, now I have to divide by A. So this is very important. Divide by A. Our A value was 6, right? AX squared BX plus C. Our A value is 6. Divide by 6. And you must simplify. This becomes positive 1/2. This becomes positive 4/3. The X goes with the bottom number for the parentheses. So this is going to be a parenthesis. 2x plus 1. This is going to be a parenthesis. 3x plus 4. So you're good there. So that's another way. The third way is by grouping, and I'll show you that up here. This is by grouping. Maybe some of you guys like this method too. So it involves this table. But once you get these two numbers, here's what you do. You write down 6x squared, and then you write these down as your middle terms, plus 3x plus 8x, and then you write down the c. So plus 4. So it's like you write down the ax squared term, you write down the c term, but then you have your two b terms broken apart. And now, you look at the first two terms. What is a common factor between 6x squared and 3x? Well, the small number is 3. It can be divided into 6, so 3 is. And then x squared and x to the first, x to the first. And then you divide these two terms by 3x to get 2x. And then 3x divided by 3x, the 3 goes away, the x goes away, but you can't lose that term, so a 1 goes there. Then you bring down this middle sign, plus, and you look at these two terms, right? What's common between 8x and 4? Well, 4 is the smaller number, 4 goes into 8. So 4 is your common number. X is not in 4, so there's no x, so that's just it, 4. And divide both these by 4. 8x divided by 4 is 2x. 4 divided by 4 is 1. And now you'll see that the 2x plus 1 repeats. So that's going to be one of your parentheses, and then the other parenthesis is what's left outside, 3x plus 4. So here are three ways. Guess and check in red, probably not going to be used. X method in blue and purple, probably going to be used. That's the way I'll demonstrate. And then the grouping method in green, which if you're good with common factors, that might be an option too. Okay. And again, not to leave out our friend the check, you can always check by taking your two parentheses, 2x plus 1, 3x plus 4, and distributing. 2x times 3x is 6x squared. 2x times 4 is 8x. Distribute the 1. 1 times 3x is 3x. 1 times 4 is 4. Combine your middle terms, 6x squared plus 11x plus 4. Boom. You know you're right because you got the trinomial out that you started with. And again, if you have time on a test, this lesson is always checkable. Right? It's always checkable by multiplying back out. All right, great. Fun times, right? All right, let's do one more of those. Here we go. How can you use substitution? No, we're not going to do that, right? We're just going to do this method. We're going to use the x method, okay? So ax squared plus bx plus c. So ax squared plus bx plus c. So now we got a negative b and we got a negative c, right? How's that going to affect things? Well, let's make our x. Okay, remember, GCF time, right? I told you, don't forget GCF. All right, smallest number is 2. 2 does not go into 3, so our GCF would be a 1. 8 has no x, so there is no x involved. GCF is 1, doesn't matter. Okay, but we looked at it, right? Bummer. So multiply a times c, right? 3 times negative 8 is negative 24. So still a 24, but now it's a negative 24. And your b value is a negative 2, right? And we're looking for these two things. All right, so we need our factors of negative 24 that have a sum equal to negative 2. Okay, so 1 and 24. Now, because this is a negative 24, we need 1 to be positive, 1 to be negative. Because it's a negative 2, we want the bigger one to be negative, so the 24 would have to be negative, the 1 positive. When you add positive 1 and negative 24, you get negative 23, and that is not negative 2. So now, if you can visualize the answer to this, just don't go through all these steps, right? Just find the answer. But again, this is for people who have issues with division and multiplication. So now take 24 divided by 2. That's 12. Make the 12 negative, the 2 positive, because the bigger one must be negative. Positive 2 plus negative 12, that's negative 10. Nope, not right. 24 divided by 3 is 8. Make the 8 negative. Sorry, I almost made it positive. Don't do that. Don't make that mistake. Make the 8 negative, the 3 positive. So positive 3 plus negative 8 is negative 5. Getting really closer, but not right. Okay, now do 4, right? 4 and 6. Make the 6 negative, the 4 positive. Positive 4 plus negative 6, that is negative 2. Bada bing, bada boom. Here are my numbers. Positive 4 and negative 6. Positive 4 and negative 6. But now, don't forget this step. You now have to divide by a. Divide by a. A is 3. Divide by 3. Divide by 3. Now notice, this does not simplify. So this is what it is. X goes on the bottom. But over here, this does simplify to negative 2 over 1, right? Keep that 1 so you know that there's an x there. You could also just put negative 2 and know that if you have a single number, then there's no number in front of x, but whatever you want to do. So then our answer will be 3x plus 4. And I'm just going to put x. You could put 1x, x minus 2. Sorry about that. And again, you could put the 1x if you want to, but you don't have to. So notice here, same numbers as the last problem, right? The 3 and 4, 1 and 2, but just in different spots. Okay, and again, maybe I'll just show the grouping real fast. So once you get that it's positive 4, negative 6, again, you would do 3x squared plus 4x minus 6x minus 8. So 3x squared and 4x have a common factor of x. That's 3x plus 4. Again, I'm doing it very fast for those who want to do it this way and have an idea. Bring down the minus sign this time. Now this is tricky. Because I bring down the minus sign, these will both turn into positive and positive in the parentheses. Okay? So 6 and 8 common factor is 2. So divide by negative 2, you get a positive 3x, and you get a positive 4. Again, there's that common factor that's repeating. 3x plus 4. The x and the minus 2 go in the second parenthesis. Same thing. Right, fun times, right? So again, this is tough stuff. It's not simple, all right? But at least we give you a method that works every time. And use your calculator to find the correct numbers. Okay? All right, best of luck, and we'll see you next time.